Hello. So today I want to talk to you about the game Deep Regrets. And all I can say is, wow. I love so much about this game. It was on Kickstarter. It has now fulfilled and is available for purchase as far as I know. And this game is fantastic. There is also, from what I have seen, going to be an expansion coming to crowdfunding. So keep an eye out for that as well. I don't know much about it, but I am excited to learn. So in this game, you are fishing, but things are not quite as great as they seem. So you have an angler's guide to fishing that's going to teach you all about the game, and it is a very well done rule book in my opinion. So you are going to be one of these grizzled fishermen out there. You can play on their human side, or you can choose to play on their more creature side. The boards are the same on either side, so it doesn't matter. Obviously, I am green. So you get your player board, you get your starting money. This little life preserver will move up and down on your money track, so you always know how much you have. You are going to start out the game with 3 dice, but you will have the potential to get more, which will give you more actions as the game goes on. And you get your boat in your color. So from there, you will have a lifeboat that will give you a one-time ability, but it will come with a massive hit to you. So you really don't want to use it unless it's absolutely necessary. And then you have a can of worms that gives you kind of some different abilities. You can use it. Once it's used, you flip it back over. At a few different points from the game, it can become usable again. And every player is going to get 2 reference cards, which are going to explain all of the icons in the game super clearly and let you know kind of the distribution of what's going on in the ocean. So this game is going to take place over the course of 1 week. So what are we doing in this game? Well, we have 2 main options. We can go fishing or we can go to port. If you've had a round in port, you must then return and fish. You cannot spend multiple rounds in port, unfortunately. But the whole reason you go to port is to sell the fish that you have to get money to buy items that are going to help you get bigger and better fish. So let me show you. This is the briny deep. This is the ocean. And it has 3 levels of fish. And it's kind of hard to see on camera, but you can see in the shadows, there's kind of different size shadows on here. So that's going to give you an idea of what size fish is happening in these different areas. Each one is called a shoal. So that's the place where you can fish for your turn. So if I'm at depth 1, and I've rolled my dice for the turn. So I got a 2, a 2, and a 3. And those go to my fresh dice area. And as I spend them, they will go to my spent dice area. So let's say I want to go fishing, and I'm going to try fishing here. So I will reveal this card. And this is a day octopus that costs 3. And it has some symbols on here telling me what it can do if I choose to eat it versus if I choose to sell it. So if I want to buy this, I will spend my 3 dice and this goes into my hand. Now, if I didn't want this fish for some reason, it would stay here, face up. So now the other players have knowledge of what's there and may not choose to take something face down. And I get what is called a dink card instead. And this will give me an ability of some sort that I can then use to help me out later on in the game. So for the round, all of the cards are here. Anything face up is fair game to other players on their turn. At the end of the day, any face up cards will go away. There are 13 cards in every pile. If any one pile gets depleted, it does not get replenished. So that is important to know. And instead, if I wanted to fish deeper down, so let's say I didn't want to reveal this, and instead I'm like, you know what? I want to get down here where there's some bigger and better fish. I can spend 1 of my die to drop down a level, and now I can fish in depth 2. So let's say I decided to fish right here. So here's a fried egg jelly, and it would cost me 2. So I have a dice worth 2. Important to note, you don't get change. So if the 3 was the only dice I had left, I would have to pay that 3, and I don't get change. So now I can take this potentially. And so again, I could pay another die and go down to depth 3, but really until I have more die, I probably don't want to do that. So let's say I took that, and then we did all of our turns. Everybody else did all of their turns. And here's the thing, you get to pass whenever you want. So maybe I just wanted to fish once. Maybe for whatever reason, I don't necessarily want to spend all of my dice. They're going to get refreshed anyway, so there's not really a reason to send them, but maybe I don't want to risk pulling up something bad, because not all of the things in the ocean are lovely and nice. Some of them have this green border instead of the blue border, and they are called foul fish, and they are not as great. So maybe I don't want to catch a foul fish this turn, so I could pass. If everybody keeps going around and would be my turn, but I don't get to go, I get a dink card for free. So there are some benefits to passing, and the person who goes last, once everyone else has passed, can have 2 final turns, but no more. So if they had a bunch of dice left and everybody passed early, they are only going to get 2 more dice actions. So let's say all of this has happened. Like, great, this seems really straightforward. What's the catch? Great question. The catch is the ocean madness. So you are going to start out with no madness cards, which means fair fish that you catch when you sell them are going to be worth +2 to whatever they say, and foul fish are going to be -2 to whatever they say, and I can have a maximum number of 4 dice. However, life happens, and in life, sometimes we take on regrets, and there are regret cards in this game, hence the name Deep Regrets. So different things will happen during the game that will cause me to take on regret cards. Regrets can range from 0, which is great because that's not going to hurt me at the end, to 3, which is not great. And they can be anything in between 0 and 3. And they all have fun little flavor text on them, like forgot an anniversary, gaze too long into the abyss, confused pipe tobacco with chewing chum, caught more than I bargained for. So they're funny little things on there. And as you collect these regret cards, independent of their point value, you will move down on the madness scale. It's not all bad. So as you move down on the madness scale, so let's say I had 4 to 6 regret cards. Well, now my fair fish, they're only worth +1. But my foul fish, they are their value that they say. They're no longer minus anything, and I can now have 5 dice. If I go down here farther, then my foul fish start to become worth a lot more, and I can carry more dice, which if I have more dice, I can take more actions. So this is all very important. So this is where the madness comes in, and it's life. We all have some regrets, so I kind of love the theme of that. But how am I getting more dice? Because as you saw, I only have 3 dice. That is where port comes in, my friends. So in port, you can shop for rods, which are going to give you different abilities when you're fishing. And if you buy one, you can then have 1 rod and 1 reel displayed every turn that will get you the benefit. And then there are supply cards that are also going to get you benefits. So when you come to port, you are going to sell your fish for money that you'll keep track of on your board. And you can then use $1 to get 1 card, or you can pay $3 to see 3 rod cards and keep 1. So maybe then you want more choice, or you can pay $5 to see 5 rods and keep 2. Like I said, you can only play with 1 rod each round each day, but you can swap them out day to day. Same thing with the supply and the reels. The more money you pay, the more cards you get to see. There is also a dice shop in here. So for $1, you can get 1 dice. For $3, you can get 2. And for $5, you can get 3. And the dice come from this bag, and they are different colors. So different colors have different values on them. So your green dice go 1 to 3. Your blue dice go 0 to 2. So some dice are going to be better than each other, but it is a blind pull. And when you then go to refresh your dice to have all fresh dice again, you will roll everything that you have amassed throughout the turns. And then you will look at, based on the madness tracker, how many die are you allowed. So if right now I'm allowed 4, I get to pick and choose from the ones I rolled to put into my fresh pile. And then I would not get to use the other one. The catch is these brown dice are one-time use. So once I use this, it doesn't get to go back into my pool the next turn. It goes back into the bag. So yes, you're getting more die, but you only get them for 1 day. So you're having to plan, how many do I want to buy? Am I going to make this a really big turn where I want to go all out? Can I even have that many that I can use? Do I need to take on some more madness so I can use more dice. So it is this balance of how much madness do I take on? Because if I only take on a little bit, it's not really super helpful. If I just take on a little bit, all I've really done is reduce some of my values. So I kind of feel like you either want to make the best of your world with 4, or you really may want to go for it so that you can have a whole bunch. So there's a lot to weigh out in this game. It does play pretty quickly. I feel like once people know the game, it's about a 30-minute game, which I think is a great amount of time. It plays 2 to 5 players in the traditional sense. There is a solo version where you're only fishing, you're not going to port, and you're just trying to, over the course of multiple games, collect every fish that is ever available, and there's this sheet to keep track of that. I don't love the solo version for this game. I feel like it could be stronger. I don't know if when they do an expansion, if there's maybe a better solo game coming. I would like to see a stronger solo game for this game. But as far as a multiplayer goes, I think this game is absolutely fantastic. It feels different. It feels fresh. I play a lot of games, and this is one that has really stuck out to me. So I highly, highly recommend Deep Regrets. I would love to know, what do you think of it? Give me a like and a follow, and I'll keep bringing you more board game content. Thanks. Bye.